Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start Gauss law, for which we need some tools. And first tool is area vector. So first we will see what is area vector. See, area is a scalar quantity generally, but in some problems it is convenient to treat it as a vector. The question is how to associate some direction with the area of a curved surface. So firstly we will see what is area vector, then we will come to the point of reading area vector or studying area vector for a curved surface or for a closed surface. Firstly, see, when we studied area of any square, we have taken two sides of a square and multiplied it, and the area was a into a square. But this area, if we read it in higher classes, we will see we have seen that this a is a vector, this another side a is also a vector. These two are in two different directions, two perpendicular directions. This angle is 90 degree, so their cross product, vector a into a, will also be in will also be a vector quantity, and this will be directed perpendicular to this surface, perpendicular to the surface of this whole this closed surface, right, a into a, and this will be directed 90 degree, and you will calculate the direction, you will see the direction with right hand screw rule or whatever you call it, okay, right hand thumb rule, whatever it is. See, this third thing, this perpendicular direction was the area, its magnitude was a square, but the direction was perpendicular to both a, and if I say this perpendicular direction is written shown with this arrow and named as n cap, then this a square with n cap will be the complete vector product of a, and this will be written as area vector S. So we have seen this area vector in square. Can we see this area vector in any curved body or any three-dimensional body? Yes. For the surface of any three-dimensional body, we will see an object like this. This object is a three-dimensional object. It has this surface area. For every surface, for every small surface, if I say I have taken this small surface, this very small surface, and consider it, then the area vector will be perpendicular to this small surface. If I am considering this surface, this small surface, then the area will be perpendicular to, area vector will be perpendicular to this surface. Or if I say this surface, then this area vector will be perpendicular to this surface only, this is a small surface. So what I am trying to say, that whenever we want to see the area vector or the area vector of any particular closed surface, whether it is curved or whether it is any other shape, then this area vector for every point is different, and that area vector depends upon the location, and it is always perpendicular to that smallest planar surface. मतलब क्या है, if we want to take this area, then we have to consider very small element of this area and see what is the direction of its planar surface, मतलब उसके planar surface जो है उसकी दिशा क्या है, उसका perpendicular direction कौन सा है, then that will be our planar, that will be our area vector. Alright, so for every point we will have a different area vector, alright. So it does not have one area vector, it have a number of area vectors which is exactly perpendicular to the surface. But what is the direction? By convention, the vector associated with every element of a closed surface is taken to be in the direction of the outward drawn normal. मतलब for every element, मैंने इसमें एक बहुत छोटा element ले लिया, then the area element for this small element will be drawn normal to this surface and it is outward, and it is by convention. We have considered it as a convention कि हमेशा किसी surface पे जो area vector होगा that will be outward normal. Alright, so this is our area vector. And how do we show it? So in mathematical form we can write it as, if I consider this whole area whether it is rectangular or any other shape, so I have to calculate the area vector for this area, but we cannot do it for complete whole area if it is not planar, just because area vector changes its direction with the shape. If I am considering very small element, this element, then we can calculate this area vector. It is perpendicular to this surface, and this can be written as n cap, the area vector. So if I say the magnitude of this area is delta s, this small shaded region is delta s. Alright, so the total area in vector form will be written as delta s multiplied by the n cap, and this is our vector representation of area. So this is the area vector. We will use it in calculating electric flux. So what is electric flux? First we will see what is electric flux. See, electric flux over an area in an electric field is a measure of the number of electric field lines crossing this area. Let me explain it first. If I am considering a surface area, we will see the definition again. If I am considering an area, this placed like this, perpendicular, this one, alright, 90 degree to the plane. If I am considering this area as delta s, this total area is delta s, and a number of field lines is passing from here. Number of field lines, these all are parallel, so it is a uniform electric field. Now what is electric flux? Electric flux over an area in an electric field is a measure of the number of electric field lines crossing this area. So we will calculate the number of electric field lines. This 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 field lines passing this area. Alright, so in simple form we will say 8 field lines are passing this area. Alright, so if I say it in simple mathematics, when we can write electric field n by s, number of field lines divided by the surface. So number of field lines will be E into S. कितनी field lines पास कर रही हैं? E into S. E into S फील्ड लाइंस पास कर रही हैं और जिसके कारण इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड E है. ठीक है. If I say this was electric field E, outside electric field, and this surface was delta S, write it delta S, E delta S. Now if I am changing the area, alright, I am just tilting this surface like this. Now same field lines are coming here. Same field lines. Now count this. This one is outside. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5 field lines are passing through this surface. So when I have tilted our surface with some angle, then this number of field lines reduced. So again read the definition. Electric flux over an area in an electric field is a measure of the number of electric field lines crossing this area. So now for this area, electric field lines is only 5. Alright, so electric field lines reduced. So in mathematics, we can again write number of electric field lines is equals to E into delta S, but this time not complete delta S, there is some reduction. So we have to measure the role of this tilt also, this angle also. So we have to make some mathematical arrangement for this. So I am going to use area vector. See, in this case area vector was perpendicular to this surface, so for this surface it is area vector n cap, and electric field direction is this. E vector is also in this direction. Area vector is this. E is this. Now, in this case, since area is tilted, so area vector will be perpendicular to this area. So area vector will be this n cap, but electric field direction is same. Here, it is always this side. So there is some angle between this E and area vector n. Alright, and here this angle is 0 degree. If I say angle is theta, then it is both are parallel, so angle is 0 degree. Now if I tilt this area so much that it becomes parallel to the field, these are field lines, now I am putting my surface area like this. This is our surface area. It is exactly parallel to the field lines. How much field lines is passing through this when it is exactly parallel? None. Passing through this, not over this, pass through this. So none. So here electric field lines are 0. The electric flux are 0, just because none of the field lines are passing through this area. Now consider this area vector is downward, exactly perpendicular to this surface, but electric field vector is in this direction, so angle between them is 90 degree. Now we have seen the maximum field lines when passing, the angle was theta equals to 0 degree, and when minimum field lines was passing, it was 90 degree, and in between this was 0. So I am making some mathematical arrangement for this. If I say the total flux, since field lines are counted as this, flux is counted like this, E into delta S. Now we will use vector E and vector delta S. Dot product is equals to the flux. Now I am showing this flux with a quantity delta phi. This delta phi, if you want to write like this, delta phi E, electric flux. Electric flux is the dot product of E into delta S. Why dot product? Now consider 0 degree angle when this one is 0. So E, write it complete like this, E delta S cos theta for a dot product. So this E delta S cos theta. So cos 0 will be there for theta is equals to 0 degree, delta phi E is equals to E delta S. So it is maximum value for theta is equals to 90 degree, delta phi E is equals to E delta S cos 90 degree. So it is 0 degree. 0. Cos 90 is equals to 0. So flux passing through this is 0. And we can see it here. The flux are passing is 0. So the general formula for flux passing through any small area delta S put in an electric field E is delta phi E, E dot delta S. All right, so this is our electric flux, and if I want to calculate this electric flux for very large area, for area S, then we will change this delta phi E dot delta S vector. If I want to calculate the flux for very large area, then we can take this, we have to integrate it, we have to calculate for this whole area. If I have taken this only and this was delta S, first change it, first consider very small part of this, that is ds. For this ds vector, d phi e, very small d phi e will be e dot ds. Now consider this ds for very this smallest element ds for this whole area, for this whole S. So we have to calculate this electric flux passing through this whole surface. We can integrate it, integrate d phi e over this whole surface, and this will be surface integral of E dot ds. Surface integral of E dot ds. It is integrated over surface, means summed up over surface. I am summing all the flux passing through this whole area. First we have calculated the flux passing through this delta S only, then we have seen what is the flux passing through this very small element ds, and then we have integrated for this whole surface, and we are getting the total flux passing through this surface S. Alright, so this total flux, we can write it like this: it is total flux passing through area S, and it is written as, if I say phi e, then it is surface integral of E dot ds. So this is the total flux passing through this total area S. See, this is also can be said as the volume integral, the surface integral of this whole surface, the surface integral of E, surface integral of E electric field over surface S. Whether we can say total flux passing through this area, or we can say the surface integral of E over surface S. Both are same thing. So this was our electric flux. Electric flux is which kind of quantity, whether scalar or vector? We will see it. Phi E, the basic formula, delta phi E is equals to E dot delta S. This one is a vector, this one is a vector, this one is a vector, but here it is a dot product. Dot product means scalar product. So delta phi E will be a scalar quantity. So flux is a scalar quantity, or more precisely, electric flux is a scalar quantity. Now, what is the unit of electric flux? So we can write unit of electric flux, unit of electric flux is equals to unit of this E, unit of E multiplied by unit of area, obviously unit of S, it will be E, Newton per Coulomb, if you remember this, Newton per Coulomb, and multiplied by area, meter square, or we can write Newton meter square per Coulomb. This is the unit of electric flux. All right, so this is for today's class.